look at you. You're okay. You're saying hello, aren't you? Hi. Hi there.
Nate, you and I checked out an exclusive over on Xbox and PC called The Gunk. We saw a trailer not too long ago, and dude, I got honestly pretty excited. I thought this game looked really cool. And that's kind of where I kind of fell off. Actually, once we got into the game, dude, it just didn't really pan out the way I hoped it was going to. What are your thoughts on The Gunk?
Well, man, much like you, it's a slow burning start. It starts you off with Rani and Bex, Rani being the main character that you play as, and you stumble upon this planet and you're really low on fuel. So you go to this planet to basically harvest and scan the flora and the minerals and everything around you to hopefully make money, because you then harvest some of these, fibers or organics and different materials to then bring back to your ship. But, upon exploring the planet, there is a bit of a mystery to be uncovered. So I'll leave it at that, because I think where this game really shines is its story and definitely its scope. This game is gorgeous, man. The scenery from, one chapter to the next, you get some really fantastic settings and just really broad. Like some of these things, I'm like, wow, it just really gives you kind of this really cool perspective. But I must say, it didn't fully jive with me, man. Because like you said, you are holding that right trigger for 90% of this game, just sucking up gunk. And then when you've sucked up gunk and then cleared the area, you're then doing some semi-lousy platforming. So, those are my first impressions of this one.
Absolutely. Honestly, like for first impressions, kind of go into long impressions, because the game I wrapped up in 5.5 hours. It's not a long game. It is on Game Pass, so there's the ability to check it out early if you can. Just it's okay, right? Honestly, by the time I wrapped up, Nate, it's just forgettable. That's the problem. I really wanted it to kind of really have some weight and pull me into these characters, and they were somewhat believable. It almost felt like a claymation art style, but yet the planet looks gorgeous, and then you get into the characters and they look clunky, and they almost kind of run clunky as well. And then you have what is it, Kurt, your robot that does absolutely nothing.
You got served. That's all he says.
That's the entire game. I didn't understand the point of him. And then your upgrades you can do, which I did all in one shot. Like, it was just weird.
They're redundant, man. The upgrades in this game are, you could just tell, are slapped in there just to sort of give you this sense of accomplishment while you're just sucking up gunk the entire game. Because, you get this mine, but this mine doesn't even explode. It just distracts enemies or distracts enemies in a bigger area. These are kind of the upgrades that you get, and I just felt kind of There are a couple that are story related, so you're forced to get them. But I don't know. Outside of that, man, like, the two characters, they did not jive with me. I don't know, man. I just found their dynamic to be annoying for most of the game, because while you're Rani and you're out and exploring, all you're hearing is, "Oh, I'm so worried about you. Oh, we lost signal. I'm so worried. I'm so worried." Well, if you're worried, why don't you just go and help her? You're just sitting at the ship and not doing anything. So that's my rant, because I heard that way too much, and then when there's some tension build up in the story, I almost didn't care, because their dynamic is just didn't jive. I feel like they could have portrayed them in a different way, and it would have made this story, just more engaging.
Absolutely.
Like it's, sentient or something?
Sentient, that icky stuff? I hope not.
Well, there's always one question that we have to ask. How does it run on the Series X? Well, this game runs at 60 frames per second solidly. I don't think I had any frame drops my entire playthrough. I did get some weird kind of screen graphic issues. Whenever I'd clear the area, it would kind of get this weird square thing in my vision. And then, man, there were, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 times where I would just get stuck while jumping. It just kind of took me out of the experience a little bit. So it's polished, but again, the performance definitely is pretty good. So I don't know, man. I think we've had enough conversation about this one. So what are you going to score the Gunk?
You know, it's tough. It's unfortunate how this one kind of plays out. I thought some of the camera angles just didn't jive with the rest of the world. Like you say, you get stuck in these little corners and sometimes hung up on these rocks and things like that. Just unnecessary, right? And it just didn't have the quite that pull that I was hoping to have, gravitational pull to characters. For me, dude, the story's just forgettable, and unfortunately, I'm gonna forget it with a 6.
Okay, man, that's fair enough. I, unfortunately, am actually a little bit lower than you, man. I didn't really jive with the characters. The really strong points of this game was the graphics, to be completely honest, and I guess the performance. But that's not why you don't want to score a game high based on those two things. So, for me, man, it's going to get a 5. The Gunk shows the struggle of life's hardships in a remarkable setting, but falls flat with character dynamics that are frustrating for majority of the game. All that on top of a redundant upgrading system, mediocre platforming, and a cramp in your finger from holding right trigger for endless time. This game is best to maybe just check out if you own Game Pass.